Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Tabletops and Bottoms. This is another week level here in Ryan. I am your Dungeon Master Scoot, and we are having more fun with the Gaffers this week, although we are sadly done one of them. Rob is off getting, I think, real life married or some shit. I don't know. He's doing something.
The technical term is hitched. I think.
Yeah. But we do have three of us here. So, Gaffers, this is our tradition. They're going to introduce themselves, and this week's question is, gang, who is your character's spirit Muppet? What Muppet encapsulates your character the most?
So I'll go first. Hi, my name is Randall, and I play Kiki, the Kinku Tinkerer, and immediately I thought of Gonzo for her. Just like... This kind of spazzy bird-like entity. I know that Gonzo's been on like a journey of discovery, and now I guess canonically they're an alien and also non-binary, which I think is a maze. But it's just to sort of like shoot himself out of a cannon, like this sort of like go big or go home. Chaotic good. Well, actually, I mean, she's true neutral, but I think it still conveys for Kiki. So yeah, just like when you asked that question, Scoot, I was just like, it just flashed in my mind. Gonzo, 100%.
Gonzo's actually my favorite Muppet out of all the Muppets.
I was always a Gonzo fan, but I think for me personally, I'd probably be Rizzo.
A tiny pizza rat.
Yes.
So
is this ours or our characters?
No, that one was me, so I guess I'll go next.
Deb is Rizzo the rat.
Yeah, that's obviously.
She's just along for the weird Christmas story adventure, just here really
Absolutely.
for the food. But is now dealing with the paranormal, which she did not sign up for.
So yeah, I'm Deb. I play Tessa, the Tiefling Paladin, and I didn't think of a Muppet, but I went tangentially into Sesame Street because I feel like Tessa is very much Big Bird.
Big Bird is a Muppet. Sesame
I know,
Street's
technically,
Muppets, yeah.
Jim Henson.
Yeah.
So technically that counts because she's big and she's friendly and she likes to help people and she has feathers. So that's a very astute analysis.
Yeah. Spent a week culminating that, doing calculations and spreadsheets.
Hi, I'm Kate. I play Allie, our half tiefling, half kitsune monk. I also went adjacent over to Sesame Street. And I think Allie would either be Ernie or Grover. Maybe Ernie.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking in terms of like...
You're not Bert.
Yeah, no. Allie's decidedly not Bert. She's not Bert. She's not grumpy enough to be an Oscar the Grouch. She's not slow enough to be Mr. Snuffleupagus, which bless his heart, he's a little bit slow. She's not autistic enough to be Abby Cadabby. She's not deaf enough to be Julia. Maybe Elmo? But like, I feel like Elmo is a little bit too naive for her, which is why I'm leaning towards Ernie or Grover.
Yeah, Elmo's a little kiddish.
Yeah.
You're a polyamorous, what's Ernie? Is that it?
Yeah. I do love that, like, there used to be like a lot of people writing in about Bert and Ernie, and the response that they got officially was, Bert and Ernie are not straight, Bert and Ernie are not gay, Bert and Ernie are Muppets. But we appreciate you seeing yourselves in them either way.
Yep. So I was thinking about this. I think, although I can't fulfill the role, I guess a Dungeon Master is technically like, again, this is going to be a real far tangent. It's not technically a Muppet, but probably Jareth the Goblin King is played by David Bowie in The Labyrinth.
I mean, technically, it's still a Jim Henson thing.
Yeah, I know that's a real far stretch, but I guess that would be the best thing to describe a Dungeon Master would be that. My codpiece is not as good as his, obviously, but, you know.
A literal dungeon.
Then again, whose is?
No one's is.
No.
Yep. It's a real whacked out D&D. Ooh. That would be hell of a dungeon crawl, the Labyrinth from the Labyrinth.
Oh, that'd be cool. I bet there's like a map already made.
That's somewhere on the internet.
And by map already made, I mean I'm going to make it.
You're like, if it doesn't exist,
project.
It will soon.
It will. As soon as I get home.
Okay. Well, last week, as we actually get into the game world now, Gaffer's had a lovely solstice time as presents were exchanged, and everything's kind of settled down after they returned from Ethos and kind of resolved some things in that adventure. But now you have airships at your disposal, at least Project Shear does. But as time passed, the solstice has come, which in Ryam is, totally not Christmas TM or sort of a gift-giving family-esque holiday. But speaking of family, Tessa, your uncle Balinor contacts you during...
It's not that unusual.
Yeah. But it's not like for a wholesale celebration. You've asked a lot of Neri and Balinor with your political dealings over time. And I believe there's a large order for doshnesses and other things to feed an elder dragon. So now Uncle Balinor is coming to collect. But he does show up at the temple. But he lets you know he's coming. And as he waits for you, he's chatting with... It's with Carl, but a lot of the geckos have gathered, and there's sort of a story time situation happening, as they're all just kind of sitting on the ground. As Balinor is... The Benkala family is large and has lots of children, so Balinor is a very practiced father figure, as he seems to be enthralling them with stories of the War of the Prophecy that is kind of appropriate for the geckos.
It's friendly version.
Yeah, a little friendlier, is leaving out some of the grittier details. But you do see that they're all like, there's a bunch of them, like Somek is just sitting there like enthralled with what's going on.
So I'll come in and be like, "Hey, Uncle Balinor, that's glad you made it okay."
Yeah, no, Artway's pretty good. I'm just hanging out with everyone here. And he's like, "All right, folks, I have to talk to the champion, Miss Tessa, for a while, but we'll finish this later." And there's kind of like, as the geckos kind of drag their feet, walking away.
Sadly.
And he gives you a big hug, and he goes, "So, are you busy right now and for the next couple of days?"
No, actually, we're in a bit of a lull right now. We've kind of given people off for a couple weeks because it's been a very busy year, and we figured it would be nice to have a couple weeks off around the solstice season. So, what do you need?
I need you to keep sit for us. Your aunt and I want to take some of the family and Bazari and Velmari, just kind of on a vacation. So we need you to keep sit.
You mean like babysit? Oh, keep sit. Oh,
keep sit.
An actual keep, right?
Yeah, there's a keep. We live in one. He said.
I didn't know what that meant. Yeah, that's no problem. Is there anything specific that you want us to look after? Any weird magics we should know about?
Well,
magical plants we need to water.
I mean, we can leave
goblins in there.
We can leave you a list. Most of it's fine. A lot of the staff are not. We've given them time off. There's plenty of food in there, but I'm sure you're fine with that. We have decided to leave some of the puppies behind, so that Velmari and Wazari can have some time to themselves. So you would sort of be babysitting the newest batch.
Babysitting? And she has those stars in her eyes, when she's trying to hold it together. She's like, "Oh well, it's definitely an imposition." No, I'm just kidding. I'll definitely puppy sit.
Okay. Just be careful, because I think some of them are starting to get their powers. So be ready. You might want to bring some people with you.
Oh, I'll call in the gang.
Okay.
I'm not going to keep these puppies just to myself.
Yeah, he says. Yeah. He gives you times and dates. Basically, as soon as you can get down there, they're pretty much going to leave. But yeah, he thanks you again, and he says his goodbye. He gives you a box of doshnesses and heads off to, back to Anshin.
And I will slap chat the gang. I assume we have a convenient excuse for Nikki.
Yeah, Nikki's off at Elle's office currently. She literally is fucked off, yeah.
So I will, I'll slap chat Allie and Kiki and Thrax and be like, "Hey, do you want to go hang out with some puppies for a couple days?"
Kiki's like, "Real puppies? Not metal puppies?"
No,
his opinion.
My uncle wants us to puppy sit them at the keep down in on Shin. I mean, there's no metal puppies, but there's probably going to be interesting things. There's a Draco Arcana down there.
Kiki's like, how long?
Couple days.
Sure. You know, I don't know. Have we been to Anshin as a group?
I think so.
Once or twice you've been there.
Once or twice. Okay. Kiki's game. She will. You can't see her because this is through Snapchat, but she kind of like squirms a little bit, and then she writes a note and she asks if one of the geckos will take it to her parents, just letting them know she's going to be out of town for a few days. It's a very weird feeling for her to like.
I have to
Check
tell
in.
my mom I'm leaving.
And so yeah, like it's not a bad thing, and for all she knows, with her mom's skills, her mom's like already away, like
Just standing on top of her workshop
Yeah.
while it looks full splayed out on the
Yeah.
roof.
but just like, don't worry, out of town for a few days. Puppy sitting? Question mark. Bye. Like I said, like she doesn't. It's not emotional or anything. She's
It
just.
comes by.
But it's a gesture from her to kind of like acknowledge
They're here.
and move things with
Yeah.
them. Yeah, like
Yeah, so Phil is with you, and you see him take he takes the note, and he puts it in a bottle, and he's been like, as much as you've kind of been watching him do alchemy, he's been watching you do, like engineering and tinkering. So you see him take a potion and put it on the bottle, like spill it onto the bottle, and it just lifts up. It sprouts little magical, but they look mechanical wings, and flies out of your like kind of the barn shed area.
Kiki gives Phil a high five. She's really impressed.
Yeah, he looks really nervous as the bottle is not going the right way. It's like a homing pigeon that's gotten lost.
She was secretly going to send Pinion, her battle hound, to follow the bottle. She's like, Kiki's like, you get there okay?
And he goes over to a board and flips it over, and he's like looking at a lot of equations.
Kiki's like, maybe follow with flying carpet?
He points at you and he runs out. He hops on one of the carpets, and you just see him fly after it.
Kiki's a little bit like, okay, I just made this gesture with my biological parents that I don't really have a relationship with, but okay, it could go to some stranger. What's it matter? So she just sort of like crosses her fingers and she just hopes for the best.
Yeah, so as you kind of head up, as you keep on your way back up to the temple, because that's going to be the fastest way of you traveling there, you do hear a earth-shattering kaboom as you see that Phil has come back, and he has the bottle in his hand, but he's sort of like, the bottle wants to go another direction, but he's sort of pulling it with him, and his strength and the momentum of the carpet are forcing the bottle to go where he wants it to go, which is sort of where your parents are staying.
Rebooting.
Okay, does he see Kiki or no?
Yeah, he gives you a big thumbs up and then grabs the bottle again with the other hand. So, like, he seems to have it in control, but if the geckos actually have anything actually in control is a whole other thing entirely.
Yeah, it's a good thing she's a kangaroo, like a bird person, because I'm sure, I don't know if she, as another type of humanoid, should be able to control her facial features. So she kind of, like, her eyebrows are up and she's sort of like, yeah, like thumbs up, and then she's just like, so.
You tried.
She's
trying real hard.
Yeah, she'll just trust in gecko power it'll eventually get, she's like, watch it get there after I'm back, like a postcard or something.
Allie, do you want to go by yourself, or do you want to bring like Kem and Bendo with you?
Allie will absolutely invite them, knowing full well that Bendo is going to squee the fuck out as soon as she sees the puppies.
Yep. So unfortunately, Kem can't go as he's got stuff in the harbor as things are still coming in, especially with these new soldiers from Thunderblade that have kind of settled in on top of making sure the last of the supplies get down to the newly settled people down by Oust. But Bendo is, I mean, you say on Shin and she's pretty on board, and you say puppies and she's very on board. So she is just putting shit in a bag, getting ready to go.
Allie would also like.
There we go. This is what I get for using a 10-year-old tablet.
This might be a thing that Kiki helps with. Things that she needs to sign almost instantaneously from Gnarl, her secretary, for lack of a better
your
word.
capybara.
Yeah, my capybara. So, like, I'm thinking basically like an inbox that's kind of like the box that the Minotaurs gave us for the Lasana campaign, where you put things in the box and close it, and it appears in the matching box that goes with it, so that like Allie and Gnarl can send paperwork back and forth.
Kiki can work on it. I mean, it would have to be at the DM's discretion about what she would do. But
I literally only want it, like, I'm not asking for it as like a Deus Ex Machina that I get to bring with me all the time. I literally just want it for this specific thing because I figure Allie is currently working on sorting out the whole new soldiers getting assigned to Sheer thing.
And boats.
Didn't that happen, like, technically, like, 6 months ago?
I thought it was only 3.
Yeah.
Because we went to Ethos in, like, April.
Yeah, I mean, you still can be sorting it, though. Like.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, Allie wants to be easily contactable.
Sure. So Kiki would probably try to come up with something that's a combination of like message and illusory script, you know, so that it would be literally like a 1-to-1, like that only the head capybara in charge can reach her messages.
Yeah.
So you're inventing magical facts, is what you're inventing.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can, I mean, that's the thing you can work on at the keep, is you're going to have some kind of downtime away from your other projects.
Yeah. So if you want me to,
we'll do some rolls for that in a bit.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, guys. Hello, Deb. I'm getting some feedback from you. Ready, and you head off to the keep via the Heartway. You get there as Bellinor and Neri, 2 of your aunts, and 2 very powerful tieflings to Kiki. You know, they greet you. They kind of give you a list of what the puppies need and kind of what they don't need.
Their munching schedule.
Yeah, kind of what they do. And then, you know, after some quick goodbyes, you notice that Tessa, like, a lot of the staff is gone. Like, there is almost nobody at this place but you 3.
Skeleton crew.
Yep, so it's pretty much just you folks. You have run of the house. You have run of the keep. There's 2. This is a large kind of middle, and there's a large square structure. There is an outer wall. This was probably a smaller defensive location back in the day, but now this city has grown out and kind of consumed it. And there are 2 spiring towers catty-corner to each other, where you know that your aunt's personal chambers is, and some of her old adventuring companion, one of them, also lived over there. In the very tip top is the only other room that's occupied by not somebody in the family. They do keep the attic for your quote-unquote Aunt Perseus when she needs a getaway and away from
the attic.
Yeah.
I think the hammock room is still there, though.
The
Goldar's hammock room. The trampoline room. Yes, there's a room full of trampolines.
You know, the tower has... The attic room has Perseus' hammock in it, but the trampoline room is still there as far as I know.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that was in the ground floor.
It was.
Yeah.
Yep, so you folks are just, you know, they give you the keys and they leave to head to a Heartway to get to where they're going. And you look around and it's quiet.
Where are the puppies around?
You don't hear them at first. They're probably inside. Yeah. It's because Tessa, like, it's too quiet.
I'm like, hang on. And I reach into my bag of holding and I pull out like a bunch of bacon treats. I kind of shake it a little bit.
Bosco immediately jumps up and snaps for them.
I lift him up, but he's too short to jump that high.
He grows to horse size and just, his huge mouth opens.
It's not fair.
But eventually...
Pull out another bag.
Yeah, so eventually that does stir and you hear thunderous pause as about 5 tiny... Like, these dogs, for the audience... If you've seen Dragon Age, they sort of look like the Mabari. So there's this kind of like big bulldog type dogs. As they come, they kind of come out seeing where the food is. They lock on all of you and just start barreling towards you. Now they are puppies, but as they come towards you, something odd happens, and that one Allie you notice blinks from the ground is now on your head. And puppy gnawing on your horns. Like, Yeah. He's not doing a lot of damage, but he's just sort of like, like a bone.
New toy.
Tessa, one of them is just on your face now, just put there. just sort of hugging you and licking
Like
at
a
you.
banana cream pie.
Yeah, just bam. And the others are just sort of jumping. And Kiki, like, these are big puppies. Like, they're not bigger than you, but, like, they're gonna be bigger than you at some point. Like, they're just small right now. As they're just sniffing you, and you're all kinds of smells to them that they don't usually get. So they're very keen on you.
Are they sneezing from the black powder residue that's like...
Yeah, and at one point you just see one, like, you see him sneeze and flame spurts out of his nose.
Kiki's impressed and slightly concerned.
I mean, this is kind of normal behavior for WtR puppies, to be honest. They're magical.
Kiki will tell Pena and her middle dog to like play mode, you know, so that Pinion acts a little bit more like a puppy and just sort of, you know, mimics them and plays around a little bit.
So at first, they're all real freaked out as they're just sort of like backing up. But they're not like, scared, but they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then they just go into attack. Like, they're just kind of nipping, but they're doing that like puppy playing versus that, except for the one that is just on Allie's head. Just on her horns.
Dogs love horns.
And Bendo is just standing next to you, and you hear this very small but like constant. And she's just watching this dog, just he's like moving his head back and forth.
Is Allie and the puppies, are they the only ones who can actually hear something that high? Like her fox ears, and like the puppies can don't know what to hear.
Because Bendo's just locked into like mode.
It's weird. I'm kind of impressed that you could hit that pitch.
Can't do it for long. So yeah, you know, Tessa, you have the schedule. They do need to be fed. They're gonna need a bath every day. Not for their coaches, because they're gonna get dirty. Like, they're just gonna get into something.
Puppies stink.
Yeah, you got to walk them around the area. The city is very aware of these types of dogs that come out of the keep. So no, you're not going to shock anybody, but you got to keep an eye on them because this batch seems to be a little bit more mischievous than past ones.
And they do come in packs.
Mm-hmm.
This concerns me. Not Kiki. It concerns Randall that there are packs of these things around.
Yeah, is it the second litter?
This is the second litter, yeah.
Okay. WtR and Velmari had a litter way back like 20 years ago. So that's the other set of 4, actually. So I kind of take the puppy that's on my face and just kind of hold it like under one arm while I hold up the list. I'm like, okay, we need to go to the kitchens.
Yeah.
And we need to get the food first, because otherwise they're going to be nibbly. So and then we can go for a walk.
More nibbly?
More nibbly.
Yeah, you say kitchens, and they respond to that word, and you actually hear like a roll of thunder in the sky, as they are just very excited, and they're just like freaking out and like spinning around in circles. The one on Allie's head is now biting harder on her horns. Like,
Well, let's go to the kitchens then. I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen the kitchens here, but they're quite extensive. They're pretty nice.
Yeah, so you folks head down there. Deb, you want to describe what the kitchens look like?
Sure, because I totally had that prepared. So I envision like the kitchens have like really big like stone and brick hearths for like baking bread and baking all sorts of treats. There's ovens and there's stoves and there's plants and all sorts of baking supplies everywhere. It's a very large room, and in the center there's kind of like this picnic style really long table that has like just a ton of food on it, and it's just a really like warm and welcoming space, and it's very colorful and smells really good.
Mm-hmm. There's residual bakery smell kind of emanating from this place. And the puppies are just kind of around a certain area where it seems to be like a big reinforced steel box that seems to be where their food is. And they're just raring to go. They're like biting at it.
I'm like, I put my hand on there and put in like the magical key code that I assume is on there to open up the food bin.
It opens, and Allie, the one on your head, stops nibbling your horn and just makes a dive for the food. Just jumps for it.
Into the bin.
Yeah, Allie, do you want to try to stop the dog, or are you just going to let this happen?
I'm going to catch the dog.
Okay. Dex save, please. Dex check, please. First roll of the night. I'm going to roll for dog. Rolled for dog. So your dex
check or dex save?
Dex check.
$17.
So you catch him, but he is really not happy about that, and he's just wiggling and doing his damnedest to like try to get further towards the food.
Now, gang, the sooner you settle down, the sooner you get food, and not a second before.
Make an animal handling check, Tessa.
I'm bigger than them.
Make it with advantage. 23?
23.
Yeah, 23. So they all kind of line up. You're used to this. Your family has been around these dogs for a very long time, so they all just sort of snap to, and they just sort of sit in a rough line, kind of waiting for bowls to hit the ground.
So one at a time, I will fill up the bowls, and I will place them before the puppies, but they're not allowed to eat until all the bowls are down. So all 5 bowls hit the ground. I look them in the eye. I just say, go.
And they just pounce on them. I'm like, there's kibble flying everywhere. They're switching bowls. They're kind of just moving and shifting between them.
Kiki is making liberal use, all from just going from the entrance to the kitchen, and now in the kitchen she's making liberal use of both prestidigitation and mending, like just with the puppy's wake of like cleaning up things and stuff. She's not like taking food from them, but just like all the little like bits and just things flying. She's trying to like, keep the mess to a dull roar.
Yeah.
Yes.
They hammer down that stuff, Tessa, and then they look up at you as if they're still hungry.
No, I won't be fooled by this.
Okay.
I'm wise to these shenanigans.
Hang on. Ooh, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh, I am proficient at that.
Yep.
31.
You save as they all team up to kind of puppy dog you, and like it's really hard.
No.
They're very convincing.
No.
So they will now turn their eyes towards the other adults. So Kiki, I need Kiki and Allie to make me wisdom saving throws, please. I'll make one for. Ooh, Bento does not do well.
So is this basically rolling to combat cuteness?
Yeah,
like what's going on here?
The puppy dog eyes, because they're just going to come
Okay.
like, oh, but I'm so hungry.
Okay, so I will happily roll.
Mm-hmm.
With Kiki has no wisdom modifier whatsoever. I will say I think she should do an advantage because cuteness is just anyway. She rolled a 14. She's a little,
I'll give you advantage on that.
I just think like she's the 6. Okay, yeah, 14.
Guys, don't forget to add in the 5 because you're near me too.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
18 then.
Okay, 19. Kiki
I
then.
will roll for cute. Oh no, Allie. So first off, Bendo lost. She actually critically failed this check, so
she should be at a disadvantage.
She is at disadvantage. You two, you don't make it. They look so adorable, and they look like they're really hamming it up, and like they're so hungry. It's like no one's ever fed them at all, even though Tessa literally just gave them food.
Clearly underfed.
Clearly underfed.
Guys, it's unhealthy for them to eat that much food. They're gonna get a tummy ache.
Wait, so did Kiki make the roll, or who?
Did not make. No one made the roll.
Oh, okay.
Tessa. Tessa's the only one that made the roll.
Kiki will nod at Tessa and then cast mage hand to go into the like container of food.
Mhm.
It's like, and just sort of like, you know, like grab a fistful and like, you know, kind of like, yeah.
Allie will pop down into fox form and join the puppies in making puppy dog eyes at Tessa.
Tessa.
Whoa! Are you doing the help? Are you doing the help action
help
since
action.
the puppies?
And even Bendo comes over to you and gives you a puppy dog face. That's like, come on, just a little bit more.
She's just being stoic. She's like, she's unmoved by these puppies.
Yeah, Bosco's strat is to trick them, not to outcute them, which works.
Yeah, so Kiki, you know, she's not gonna like. What do I say? She's locks the food bin. Okay, so Kiki's gonna wait till Tessa like looks away or leaves or something. And she's gonna like try to break the code because, please.
Yeah.
It's a lock, please.
Okay, so Tessa does close and lock the food bin, and everyone's like, fine. And the puppy's like, And that one alley just pops back onto your head. That just seems to be a place he likes to be now. And he's very lazily chewing your horn down, like, He's very upset that there's no more food. And the puppies just sort of stagger over to where, like, they are very full of food at the moment. So they do go to this very, like, soft bedding area where they go and they lay down and slowly kind of drift off to sleep in a big puppy pile.
Kiki will have Pinion, air quote, guard them. I don't mean because she thinks the puppies are unsafe. It's more to like alert us if the puppies,
when they awaken.
you know, yeah,
So
like what if
you're
someone
using
awakens?
Pinion like a baby monitor, basically.
Yeah, that's exactly it, 100%. Like, so the Pinion will bow wow at us whenever the puppies are active or into shenanigans or something like that. If you know, if they come to see us directly, great. But otherwise, yeah.
Okay. So, you know, it's now gone quiet in the keep. You folks are kind of free to move about the area if you would like to.
Kiki wants to see if there's any sort of like tool rooms, scrap piles of. She wants to work on Ali's request, but she also just wants to see if there's like. She always has like all of her tools. She has metal with her. That's just Tinker 101. But she wants to see if there's other things that maybe could supplement that while she's working on Ali's request. But you know, she's not going to go where. Yeah, she's not going to go anywhere that she's not like. It's clearly
What I miss?
Shouldn't be there.
Nothing. Roll me a sleight of hand and an arcana.
Wait. Sleight of hand
for that
okay,
thing
sorry.
we discussed. Well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. Let me look that up. Sleight of hand. A 25.
Okay, and an arcana, please.
Arcana is quite good. Wow, crit.
Yeah, so Kiki, you walk over there and like it's a pretty well locked food bin, but Kiki's able to crack it as you do open it. And Allie and Tessa, make me perception checks, please.
$20 unnatural.
Okay.
27.
So, Tessa, you don't hear this because Kiki's sleight of hand was too high. But, Allie, you hear it because you have stupid perception. You hear the bin open and the dogs kind of hop. One of them hops up for a second, looks up at you two, and sort of just like casually, kind of sleepily wanders towards the kitchen.
So what Kiki will do is she'll like shovel some of the. It's like kibble or whatever, right? It's just like dried. She's gonna shovel some of it in Pinion, like some of Pinion's hollow parts,
yeah,
to be able to like give them little sneaky snacks later. That's her plan.
Okay. So the puppy watches this and kind of turns around and he's gonna make a performance check actually. Okay, Tessa, you see him just sort of like humph and go back into the bedding as if he has failed in his mission to find more food.
Wait for breakfast.
And they, so basically the puppies are now sleeping in pretty much a puppy pile in some bedding in, one of the rooms.
And then just so Tessa knows, Pinion's there more to alert us than to protect the puppies. Like if they get into sort of like shenanigans and other like tomfoolery, then Pinion will bow wow at us to let us know.
May I recommend that we not introduce the puppies to the trampoline room right after they eat?
Oh, no amount of prestidigitation would clean that up now.
Yep. So Kiki, with your walking around, you do see that out in the main courtyard is this huge pile of trash. Like it's not stinking. It's just like all manner of like scrap and random things. But it looks like something pretty massive sort of sleeps in the middle of it. But there's nothing, like there's a large imprint of what looks to be like a very, like a humanoid crocodile almost, but massive. It's nothing there right now, but there's definitely all manner of like scrap and random accoutrements everywhere.
So Kiki perceives that there's something sleeping in, or she
there's
just...
marks of like, it's in a circle, like in the middle is pretty clear. So, like, something lays there, it seems like. But there's all manner of just, like, scrap and trash. But there's, like, usable scrap there, as far as you would know.
Yeah, so in the spirit of one person's trash is Kiki's treasure, she'll just sort of... Like, she's not going to go, like, full-on dumpster diving, like, up to her knees or whatever. She'll, like, use Mage Hand and stuff, but she will... Just see if there's anything that might help with Allie's request to supplement, again, her own. She could probably do it.
Yeah, make an Arcana check.
Arcana. Okay.
What was Allie's request?
Magical facts.
Magical facts machine.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oops.
I thought it was something I missed.
28.
Yeah, you find there looks like a lot of magical items that are kind of borked. Like, they might have been cursed or something and then not cursed anymore, but that fried them in the process. So, there's a couple of boxes you think you can use, although, like, you'll need more stable, probably raw magic to do anything or something that would have that ability. But as Tessa and Allie, you've talked about, there is a place called WtR Arcana, which is basically, like, the premier magic shop in this country. Allie, Allie would definitely know about the franchise they have over in Onmer.
Allie has absolutely gotten things from that franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kiki will take what she thinks would be possibly repurposable to supplement, and then, of course, she'd 100% be for going to the store at whatever point makes sense.
Yeah. So the first day kind of goes by. Pretty quietly. Second day arises, and even before the sun comes up, Tessa, all of the puppers are sitting on the bed staring at you.
They don't fit. Bosco's already taking up half the bed.
I mean, no, they're literally like on you, like waiting.
What size bed? Because, I mean, it has to be pretty big for Tessa, let alone Thrax and Bosco. So, like, I'm
like a king-size bed. It's like a California king.
I'm here with Tessa. I'm like trying to do the math.
Math.gif.
Yeah, but they're like, you wake up, they're like on the pillows, just staring at you.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can smell the puppy breath.
Yeah,
it's pretty terrible. Like, all right, I'm getting up. It's even early, even for me. What is it, like 5 o'clock?
Yeah, even Bosco's not up yet.
All right. So I get up and I kind of put my robe on and I kind of shimmy sleepily down to the kitchen and open up the lockbox.
Dex save, please.
What?
Dex save.
Okay. Is this a spell? Because I think you get like advantage if it's
No, it's not a spell.
I'm gonna guess I bet they rush. I bet they rush you.
Yeah, they're bum rushing you.
26. 26.
You as soon as you open it, two of them go to bum rush it, and you just slam it shut before they can get into it.
You know the rules.
And they go and they sit down.
Good boys and girls. And then I open it up. I look at them very sternly, making sure they're not making a move. And then I will fill their bowls, have them wait double the time this time, and then they can eat it.
So now that you, like, as you're turning and filling the bowls, though, you do notice that, like, they're sort of in a line, but when your back is turned, they're switching positions. Like, they're in a line, they're just in a different order of puppy.
I don't care about the order. I just care that they sit patiently for their food.
Perception check, please.
And there it is.
Yeah, you swear you filled one of the bowls, but it's like back up on the counter as if you hadn't filled it. Like you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 plus.
I think given a 10, and I haven't had my coffee yet, I'm like, oh, I must have missed that one. So I just go ahead and refill it.
Mm-hmm. And although what the audience will see is one puppy kind of like nod an affirmative head shake to the others as they all like conspiratorially go, mm-hmm. And then they all wait patiently as you have instructed.
It's like Ocean's 5.
Yeah.
They're like trying to like con as much food as they can out of Tessa.
Yep.
And then I give them the go ahead to eat.
And same thing, they're just sort of, they annihilate it pretty quick as they just eat. And they feel very contented this time. There is no kind of like sad eyes as they, cool. And then they just kind of walk. Now they're going to start, actually now what they're going to do is, like, 2 of them are going to stay with you, but 2 of them are going to run towards where Allie and Bendo are staying. Sorry?
Allie's awake. It's 5 a.m. Allie's definitely awake. She's currently out.
Is there 5 puppies?
There are, but 2 of them, they're splitting up now. 2 of them stay with you, and they're just kind of hanging out with you. 2 of them run for Allie's room and proceed to, Allie, you hear Bendo shriek.
Is it a happy shriek?
It's undiscernible at the moment. It's definitely a panic shriek.
I'll go running then.
Yeah, you come up there, and there are puppies just attacking her in that puppy manner.
So, cuddling aggressively.
Yeah. And they're kind of like biting her hair, and they're just sort of nipping at her. But again, not in an aggressive way, just... They're looking for her horns, but she doesn't seem to have them, so they're sort of confused.
Allie's gonna do like that 2 fingers in the mouth whistle.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, no bites.
The one bamfs up to your head and horns.
Allie's actually gonna take him by the scruff of the neck, take him off, say, no biting right now.
Back to the top of your head.
Allie has a way around this. Foxform. You can't bite them if they're not there.
They begin to nip at you and like try to get you to chase them or for you to chase them. They want to chase you or have you chase them. If
they're doing the biting, Allie is going to sit and make that kind of like stern chittering noises that fox make.
Well, they're not
noise.
They're not biting you, but they're sort of like nipping to get you to play as a signal.
Yeah, if they're doing the bitey thing, like she's not playing with them until they stop doing the bitey thing.
Okay, and they sort of just stand there, but they're doing like the butt up, hands down, like wiggles.
Okay, if they're just doing that part, then at this point, Allie will go start running around with them.
Yeah, they just bolt. Kiki, you do notice that one is sort of sitting there looking at Pinion.
Mm-hmm.
And she seems to be trying to figure Pinion out.
So Kiki is working on Allie's project, but she sees this and she'll have Pinion go through like a series of commands to like very puppy like commands, like which for Pinion's like nothing, right? Pinion's capable Pinion's not like a super complicated like go break open this lock, but like so she'll be like, sit up, and then she'll be like, roll over, so she'll just sort of model some things and then have Pinion go back to like Pinion's neutral sort of sitting stance and just to sort of like show the Pinion's like dog-like behavior, I guess, a little bit.
So the puppy's kind of like as you're giving commands, it seems to be relating that this corresponds. So it walks up to you and paws you for a second and goes, and then fires a magic missile out of its mouth and hits the door, and then sort of like motions towards Pinion, like, can Pinion do that?
How big is the room that we're in?
It's like you're in like a modestly priced hotel room, like for a single person.
Could Pinion turn into his large size in here without damaging anything? Oh, okay.
Things. But you can like take him outside. There's a courtyard.
Okay. She'll take a break from the project and walk the metal dog and the
real dog.
Puppy, the bio puppy out into the thing. And then she'll be like, and she's impressed by the like magic missile. So she definitely gave like a thumbs up. And then she'll command Pinion to turn into Shield Guardian mode. You know.
So Pinion grows, and the puppy gets really excited, and it gets very, very excited, and the puppy accidentally casts growth on you. So you grow as well. So Allie, you're like, Tessa, like you're inside cleaning up, and you hear Pinion go to Guardian mode, and Allie, you're kind of running around out of a window. You see Kiki is now staring into a second-story window.
Oh boy.
You're very large,
Kiki. Yeah, Kiki out loud will be like, "Hi," and then she's like,
"It's like hi,
through
hi,
hi, Baron." Through the Slap chat, she'll be like, "Kiki big now. This lasts long?" Because she doesn't know what this.
Allie's going to transform back into her humanoid form, so she can actually use her ring to immediately send back. Well, if it lasts for more than 4 hours, we'll need to see a doctor.
Kiki sort of shrugs at this. She'll just sort of move around a little bit just to kind of get used to her new form, and then I think she'll sort of like sit down and like do like, shake hands with Pinion and some other things. So you have this giant Kenku, this giant robo dog. Now the robo size for Pinion, the guardian size, it doesn't last for very long. It's only like a handful of rounds. So I know that Pinion will shrink down. And Kiki will be there with a puppy and a robo dog of their normal size, and she'll be there like, oh.
Yeah, it's a real reverse Clifford situation.
Yeah.
And you do see, like, you see Kiki for kind of where you are, like, the neighboring buildings are kind of looking out at you, and then just shrugging and kind of going back to what they were doing. As if this is not that weird of a thing where they live. Like, it's the big call. It's the keep. What are you going to do?
Kiki is really, really wishing she had wings right now. Because to be this large. And then she remembers she's Boots of Flight. So she'll just test them because she doesn't know if there's any spillover effect from this. So she'll just raise herself a couple feet off the ground with her Boots of Flight.
You come up.
Okay. And then I don't know how tall the buildings are. I just imagine
like 3 or
this
4 stories
large,
most, yeah.
This large Kenku's head's like dun 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 dun, and she'll just sort of peer around. It's kind of like the Muppet movie. I forget which one where Animal gets really large.
Yeah.
Speaking of Muppets, but she's really tempted to fly around while she's this big, but she'll kind of just try to be patient and see if it ends after a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, so a minute or two goes by and the puppy's concentration goes away, like it is distracted by something, and you shrink back down to your normal everyday size.
She'll go into Pinion's stash of puppy food and give some pieces to the mischievous puppy, because she's sort of like, that was pretty boss. Like, yeah.
Yeah, the puppy's forgotten what happened. It's just happy to have food.
Oh, she was trying to condition it to be like, mischief good, mischief gets you food.
Yeah. Yeah, so the day, about another hour or so goes by. You're kind of hanging out with these dogs, kind of keep an eye on the keep, when there was another roll of thunder, and there is, Tessa, as far as you know, a visitor at the gate. Because an alarm spell goes off to let you know there's somebody out there.
I assume like Posh and Damu are also off, so
Yeah,
we're on our
gone.
okay.
Yeah.
So I head over to the gate and I kind of get up on top, where Posh and Damu would be, to kind of peer over and look to see who's coming to call in.
Yeah, there's a small tiefling woman, kind of purplish blue skin, that's looking up at you. She's probably in her 50s or 60s. She's dressed very nice, and there is a smell of ozone around her. As she looks
Dala,
up,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's Dala, one of the hand, one of the ruling council members of the city, and she goes, Tessa.
Oh, hey, Dala. Hey, just give me 1 second. I'll open up the gate for you. You can come in.
Down.
Got to keep it closed because of the puppies.
Right. Is your Uncle Jonah experimenting again? We had reports of a very large black bird in the keep.
Oh yeah, that's just our friend Kiki. I think some of Wazari's traits have rubbed off on the puppies.
So you know the bird.
Yeah, she's a good friend of mine.
Okay.
She's not always that big. Just sometimes.
All right. Keep the wild magic to a minimum.
Wasn't me, but I mean, you feel free to tell the puppies that.
I don't know if that's
give
going to help.
them a lecture with a PowerPoint slides. Just
Hold up one of the dogs. Would you like to tell this puppy?
She's just sort of. It's like it's probably like talking with Thea. She shakes her head now.
Is she there in like an official capacity, or
a little bit? This is sort of like this is functionally the head of like the prefecture. The sort of town guard is like.
Okay.
Again, no one's that freaked out by it because again, a lot of odd things happen at this like Archangel's residence, but that's a new thing, and people like they know they're gone. They're like, we saw someone in the house. This might be something, or this might be nothing. So she came to see like what's going on. And she does begin to lecture the dog, thinking that that's the puppy that did it, and the dog just stares at her. Like, just happy, but, like, doesn't really care.
Whereas the dog, like, licks her face.
Yeah, she's like, okay, wonderful. I have some things to attend, so good luck.
All right, feel free to stop by later.
I might, she says, as she just kind of saunters off into the city and down an alley.
Bye.
If Kiki was there, or if Tessa tells Kiki about this, Kiki's brain will start worrying around like, and she'll mention to Tessa that she might be able to make some sort of collar for the puppies that could like dispel, like she has to think about it, right? But like basically like a magical muzzle, not an actual muzzle for the face, but just something that might like
a magic dampener collar.
Dampen the magical effects that they can cause.
I think that would be a really good idea because they seem to be getting very powerful very quickly, and some people may not like this happening to them, especially if they don't know the dog. Can you imagine if they just randomly enlarged somebody on the street? I think that would be not great. So yeah, if there's something you can do like as a side project, I think it might be appreciated. So
out loud, Kiki will just sort of think out loud with you and Ali about this, and just sort of be like, she might be able to do something that either is like a one shot, like if something powerful enough, like past a certain magical level goes off, it'll be like a basically like a dispel magic on the pooch, right? So just an auto response. Or she might be able to create something. So the leashes that like retract and stuff, it wouldn't be an actual physical leash, but like she could potentially make a device that would leave it up to the dog watcher, sitter, to like point it and activate the collar, but you'd have to be there. But then you could be more selective. So if it's like minor shenanigans, it wouldn't pop it off. But she's still, you're getting this very real time. So she'll just sort of mention this to you. She doesn't know if she could pull it off, but
Yeah, I think
You know.
maybe either of the two, or maybe both, because the dogs need to also learn. So I don't want to like take away their magic per se. They need to learn to control it,
Right.
but I also don't want other people to get hurt in the process. So I think definitely a dispel magic, like if it hits a certain power level, would be really
Mhm.
useful. At least in the short term, if that's the easiest thing.
Okay. I mean, she'll gladly see if she can tinker something up. Yeah. So I know she's also working on the thing for Ali. So at whatever point, Scoot, you want me to try things.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, so this next day will kind of go by pretty well. You know, the puppies are kind of the novelty of you folks being here. They've just accepted your presence, so things calm down a bit. So, give me for that alley device.
Mhm.
Give me 2 tinkering checks.
Okay. So tinker.
Two
So
separate
intelligence and
Proficiency.
proficiency.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I am so excited because now, with her scholar feature, Kiki has double proficiency on tinkering checks. So let's see. 12. This is cool. Oops, that helps if I actually roll the right
It's
formula.
definitely not
so-
138, Randall. That's not a check.
No. What the? Sorry.
You're forgetting the D.
18. I know, I keep doing that. 32.
Okay. And one more. Okay, 20.
Non-natural 20.
Yeah, it's still pretty good. Rolling a 2. So you're putting something together and you think you're making it, but the more problematic thing is like you're dealing with busted parts. So you have the basis of it, you just can't get it. There's not enough juice or something. So you're gonna have to take this somewhere where you can, like a more equipped workshop, basically.
Yeah.
And there is one in the city where, you know, the other 2 know exactly where it is. It's WtR Arcana, where they do all sorts of experimental stuff. So, like, you have the basic, like, if you take it to them, they can probably finish it. Like, you have the framework done, you're just basically having problems in the end. You've built the engine, you just can't get it working, something's not firing right. But you're at a point where you're like, you've been working on it all for like a day or so, and you're like, I'm stumped at the moment. Like, I don't know where else to go with this. Like, it might be the part, it might be something I'm not doing right.
Yeah, she'll let Ali and Tessa know, like, for the project request, like, she's, like, almost there, but kind of she's away from her, you know, her workshop back home, so...
I think this calls for a shopping trip.
So, important question, Tessa, are you going to take the puppies with you, or leave them here with, like, Thrax and Bosco?
I know it's going to happen if I leave them there,
Mm-hmm.
but I also don't know if I want to bring all of them into the shop with all those magical items. So I think the lesser of the evils would be to leave them with Thrax and Bosco and just accept whatever I walk into when we come back.
Except
Kiki doesn't know how you feel about separating one of the puppies, but, like, for testing purposes, it would be great to have one to try the upgraded
You'd have the demo.
color. Yeah, like a beta test them.
If you're gonna do testing while at Draka Arcana, that's probably not a bad idea. And maybe we can grab the one that cast the growth on you, since that one seems to have so far has shown the most power. Maybe we'll take that one with us.
Bendo also volunteers to stay behind with the dogs.
Surprising no one.
Surprising no one. So you 3 take that puppy with you, the growth reduced puppy. And as you put the collar on Kiki, it does not like the collar. It sort of just kind of like gnaw at it as much as it can't really get there because it's on its neck. But it's not a fan of having a collar on. But it's just sort of dealing with it. You travel.
We'll learn.
Yeah, you travel to WtR Arcana, and you 2 walk in, and there's Jara, the platinum dragonborn proprietor of this place, who goes, "Oh, Benkalas and foxes. I wonder what either apocalyptic event has brought you here, and you have a dog.
We are puppy sitting in my aunt's keep.
So that's
So the apocalyptic event hasn't happened yet. Give it another
Trying to
24
prevent
hours.
it, actually.
What can I do for you folks today?
Wait, did you say this was the apocalypse, or
Yeah,
is it just the
apocalypse
apocalypse?
event?
Apocalypse,
Yeah.
nice.
So our friend Kiki here, because I don't know if you guys have ever met, so I guess I'll introduce you. Came up with this neat little device that's kind of like a dispel for when they accidentally launch something, but I think it needs. I don't know, Kiki. What do you need? More juice?
Yes. And then Kiki, of course, has her notebook ready and open to the right page. And then she realizes it's to one of her bomb designs that goes boom, and she shakes her head. And then she turns to the...
Yeah, because you see a look of concern on this dragonborn's face. Is like, you're going to tie a bomb to the... Oh, okay. Like, we were on the wrong page.
Kiki's like,
Yeah.
no. And then she turns to the correct page. And it's like... And you see this sketch of, like, a Kiki sketch of one of the puppies. And, like, the little collar. And then, like... symbols for magic coming from the puppy, and they're like all kinds of schools of magic too, because she knows the puppies do all kinds of things, and then like symbols showing like grounding or shutting down of the energy. And Kiki will talk about what she thinks she needs, the extra juice, and will gladly ask another professional about like whether this would be like a one-time thing, like what sort of like 3 charges, like what she thinks is possible. So she'll spell it out.
He'll tell you he likes the idea,
Mm-hmm.
Jorah tells you he likes the idea of like, sort of like the failsafe, right? So it's like if it's like when a computer heats up and it shuts off before it gets too hot to melt.
It's happened to me twice tonight.
Exactly. So he says he can do that. The one suggestion he has though is he thinks your problem with the collar is that you're trying to concentrate it too much in the collar. If you spread it out over like a harness, like a dog harness, that'll balance it out more and let you cover more area. It's more materials, but it might work better, he thinks.
Kiki likes that because she can put more sigils. It's more space to like you said, like not only just to cover the body, but she can put a few more enchantments if needed on it. So she really likes that idea.
Yeah, and he kind of says, plus harnesses are more comfortable than collars. And then he sort of looks at Allie. And he looks back at you guys.
Well, he raises an eyebrow and says, "You would know."
Kiki, it goes completely over Kiki's head.
As for your box here, this is some standard stuff we can help make. You've done a pretty good job with what you have, but I think if you show him that too, he goes, yeah, I mean, basically your formulas are right. It's just that these materials they're going to break down every time. Because you cobble this together, which you did a good job with whatever scrap you had. It's just, you need better material.
Okay. And then she looks over to Allie because it's Allie's, deal. Like, yeah, we're going to do this, right? Like, upgrade stuff.
No, this will really come in handy for, I know we travel away from the temple often enough, and it'll be helpful if I can still be,
Well, sometimes you got to do an I-9, like. Yeah, so Jorah will kind of go back to his stock, and he'll bring you materials that, he thinks this will conduct it a bit better. How big do you want this?
Not big. I just need to be able to send papers back and forth with my secretary.
Okay, he says, not like, is it your secretary? Is this like, okay.
I don't know. Close enough. Administrative assistant.
Okay.
Kiki will ask you, because originally she was thinking something like, 9.5 by 11 or whatever fantasy dimension equivalents, right, for paper that you would write on, but she would ask if you want something more like a cylinder that you put something in, and that like she'll go over options with you while in the store to like.
One really doesn't care. Whichever one is kind of easier and more stable is really what she's looking for.
Okay. Whatever the person recommends.
A box is usually the easiest thing to do. The cylinder thing's not a bad idea. He sounds like he hasn't considered that before.
Because I was thinking if you like, what I was thinking is something you would write directly on, and then like, and then it would print out, quote unquote, on the other side, or it would show up on it. But then she's like, well, what if you wrote like on regular parchment, but you put it in a cylinder because that might be more compact. So she will go with whatever they recommend from a stable point, because that's what
from
I
a stable point. It's like they know the box will work. They're not. He's curious about the cylinder now. Like you've got him thinking, but he's like, the box we know works. So he can sell Allie materials that you will, like Kiki, you can put together. Like again, you've done it correctly. You just don't have stable enough material to hold this magic.
Okay.
And he's gave you the pointers on that. He can also sell you materials for the dog harnesses.
Great.
Were you folks just?
I'm assuming Tessa approves.
Yes. And the harness is a good idea too.
Yeah, and she'll also make sure that it's like adjustable, because she has a feeling they're going to be growing quickly. And they might eventually need like new ones, but like that it's not just like a one size, but can at least be expanded a little bit, like a few notches on a belt or something. So
will this work on all magic or just arcane magic?
We'd have to make one for the different types of powers, probably.
Yeah, then we need to figure out which things those puppies can do, because I don't think all of Wazari's offspring are wizards.
I mean, as long as you got the base design down, you can modify it from there. And your Kenku friend seems to have the base design down.
That she does. Not surprised.
Is there anything else I can help you folks with?
I mean, Kiki will poke around a little bit because she's in love with this place.
Yep.
Oh, I know what she'll do. She will ask about a Pokeball for the big gruff. Because she's been she's been playing with it, like some of her ideas, and then Kiki can get hyper focused. But then we've also had lots of like quests and projects going on, so she'll ask either just for like friendly professional advice, since we just made these purchases, or did they have something where something large could be shrunk and then like popped out again. Because she's familiar with like enlarge and reduce, right? But that it's not going to be long, so she's looking for like something that would be like a switch, so that it's like stays an inanimate object, because the gruff's not living, right, and doesn't need air or anything like that, but something like luggage size, even. Like she's trying to figure out something that would be.
Yeah, so you see him kind of go, like he pulls out parchment, he's like writing down calculations and symbols. He gets the basic like dimensions of it from you. It's like, well, like your average bag of holding is not going to work. Obviously, that thing is too big. We'd have to either make one that is big enough to accommodate its full weight, because you can get it in, or we'd have to enchant. We'd have to set up some sort of ship in a bottle situation. We could do that, but I would need to probably put that on the gruff, was it? The thing? I would have to probably enchant it directly.
Yes. So is this something with the advice that you think Kiki could do herself, or does she really need to outsource it?
This would be, you would need a like properly trained arcanist for this. Like you're now he's getting into like detailed enchantments, and like you can do that, but you would be trying to do it versus him being able to do it.
I mean, because I'm going to be clear, like Kiki's brilliant, but she's also like in her way a generalist. Like she knows about a lot of things, or like a
about a lot,
decent amount about a lot of things, but like she's except for combustion. What do you call it? Concussion, like explosives. Like she's all over the place, and proudly so. So she'll ask for an estimate.
He would. So you could say, like, look, like, could you try this yourself? Yeah, you could. But after you kind of go through it with him, it's basically Kiki could try to do it, but there's a larger failure risk percentage versus if he does it, there will be much less of that. But that also might result in like, if it goes, because you basically need to mess with the enchantment a bit, considering how like powerful and divine the gruff is at its base because it's not from the plane. But luckily he kind of isn't either. So he can do it. Like, he's got a very good chance of not destroying the gruff, but like if you mess this up, you could make it so big that it's not functional, or so small that you now have a toy tank instead of a regular tank.
So Kiki will just discuss logistics, and like, this is her baby. Like, she's proud of her ability, but she also respects a specialist who really knows, and so she'll just ask for a quote, like, does she have to bring the gruff here? Can she bring it through the Heartway sometime? She'll ask Tessa.
I can come up. You folks are in the peaks, right?
Yes, free peaks.
Yeah, I mean, if you listen, Miss Clever Claws, if you're a friend of the Foxes that been callers, you're a friend of Draca Arcana. So I'm happy to come up there to give you a quote, but I'm gonna need to see this thing for myself to do that.
Sure. And then Kiki goes over the, like, rough scheduling, and she's gonna be very flexible. I mean, of course she's eager for it, but like,
yeah, he'll set something up with you to come do that.
Okay.
Anyone else looking for anything at Draca?
Nothing specific.
Okay. So you folks,
so she's good.
Yep. So and again, you'll be here off screen. So if you wanted to think of something later, you can come back and do that. But you folks head home, back to the keep. And the first thing you do as you come in through the door is you notice that Thrax, Bosco, and Bendo are asleep, and the dogs have been rolling in trash very happily, except for the one.
Are they like in a magical sleep?
Yes, they are in a magical sleep.
Okay. For Thrax's level, for one of the pups to cast sleep at a high enough level to put Thrax to sleep with his HP.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa! Like, holy Alora, that's...
We need harnesses.
Well, there's also, Kiki, as you're kind of looking at this, you think, like, they might have just fallen asleep and the pups might have helped that process along with magic, and then they kept them asleep as they scampered away.
These guys are devious.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to dispel any of the sleep spells that are on the three of them.
Mm-hmm. And they wake up like, oh, that was such a... Where are the puppies? It's like Ben knows his first, like, where are they?
They're in the trash pile.
Yeah, and they're like rolling around in the mud. They're having, like, the four of them are having a really good time, and the one that you're holding, Tessa, looks kind of bummed that she didn't get to go and have a roll in the mud.
Are the harnesses ready?
Oh no, you have to.
Are they going to take a little while?
Like Kiki has the design and sort of she has the design for it. She can make them, and then you have to figure out the kind of main magic these dogs have. But like, they are not ready to be placed on the dogs quite yet. But you only got like a day or two before your aunt comes back, and she's much more powerful than you. But like, keep the dogs in line. Have less trouble with them. You're the babysitter.
They're going to take advantage.
Yeah, they're going to... Angel's away, they're going to play. But your uncle and aunt will probably come back. And then mom and dad are coming back, too, because the Wazari and Vilmari are with them. But yeah, they're covered in mud and dirt. But they're having a good time.
Right. Okay, guys. You've had your fun. It's bath time.
Those four bolt to different parts of the keep.
Allie is so this is the part where Allie gets to be useful. Like, look, she cannot necessarily resist the adorable puppy dog eyes. She cannot necessarily, craft them magical harnesses which will, at all constrain their abilities. But chasing the puppies and catching them, hello, this is my job.
Yep.
Yes, please, because I am not fast enough to catch even one of those dogs.
All right, Allie. The first thing I have to do is find them, though, because they have scattered.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I have a spell for this. I have...
Locate dog.
Oh, no, wait, that's locate object. That doesn't work.
Locate dog.
No, I have locate creature.
There we go.
Yeah.
Describe or name a creature that is familiar to you. You sense the direction to the creature's location as long as that creature is in 1,000 feet. I can only cast that twice, so I can only find 2 of the dogs.
It's fine. Allie can also use so like I'm thinking like if you and Thrax did the invisible sneak up on the ones that you can locate creature on, then Allie can chase the farther flung ones between moves really fast and really good perception.
Sounds like a plan.
Kiki could also mimic the sound of the food bin opening anywhere to try and lure one
Honestly,
out.
that's probably the fastest thing.
So yeah, if you do that, Allie will thaumaturgy you.
Okay.
So, all right, let's.
We could do it wherever. I think, I don't know that they'll all hear it from here, but that's right, thaumaturgy.
Yep.
I think,
Yeah,
I think
okay.
we do that one first, and then any of the ones that don't come, we then go seeking them out.
Okay, so you do that. One of them comes bolting towards Kiki, but stops like when he sees that there's no food, and then goes to turn. So Allie, go ahead and make me a dex check. As you are again, these dogs are fast, but they're not faster than you right now.
Did you say with advantage or no?
Yeah, you're chasing a dog. Which
It's a surprise round for the
surprise
puppy
round.
because
They don't know how fast you are. They have not
That's
seen
right.
you move. They've seen you as a fox, but they've never seen you like, oh, you move as the two-legger like that. Okay, that's a crit. So it turns and you just snap it up almost immediately. Nope, you grab him and he's wiggling like, no. And Thrax takes him and puts him in like a hold now because he can't get out. He gives up.
One down.
One down. Tessa, you ping.
I do ping for one of the dogs, so yeah, I guess I'll just pick one so you can tell me where that one is.
So the closest one is actually, your aunt keeps a garden and it's hiding somewhere in the garden as you get there.
Okay, I'm going to head out into the garden, kind of using that spell to kind of like navigate my way through there.
Yeah. So the dog is under a bush and it's just sort of back in there.
Do we know their names?
Not
Trouble.
Or do we want to workshop that later?
Yeah.
We know
Trouble,
that the food hasn't come up
nuisance.
with them yet.
Trouble, nuisance, imp. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm going to try to lure the puppy out with a piece of bacon.
Ooh.
Like, hey there! You can come out.
It fails the bacon check, so it automatically just like, oh, bacon, and just forgets itself and it comes out.
I grab it.
Dex throw, please.
A dex throw?
Dex check.
Okay.
Let's see if you can snatch him.
I think it should be at disadvantage because his jaws are probably locked on that bacon.
15.
Or at advantage, rather.
Roll one more time. He's very distracted by bacon.
15 still.
Well, he critically failed because he's all about that bacon. So he just goes up, and you just pick him up, and he's eating the bacon because he's like, well,
I've been like tossed over my shoulder as he's eating the bacon.
at least I got bacon. He said he's kind of thinking to himself. You got one more of those, Tessa. Do you want to pop it?
Yeah.
This one is actually in your aunt's tower somewhere.
Oh. How did it...
Bet it found a dildo.
I'm wondering if the tower was locked, though. So if it got in there and the door is locked... Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
No, Tessa, if there's just a door, you're going to have trouble getting to the... It doesn't matter if it's locked.
Allie, I think this one is the one for you.
Because there is a locked door as you come up to it, Tessa.
Like, nope. I'm not even gonna try.
Allie knows better than to break into Neri's private quarters.
So maybe we should lure it out.
That sounds like a better plan.
I mean, I don't think she'd be super upset, but I think she's got a lot of magical things in there.
Yeah. I can also almost guarantee that, like, her door's gonna be warded. There's no way it's not warded.
I mean, there's a lot of family that goes in and out, so we might be okay.
So you remember that, like, Neri has levels. So there's, like, 3 levels of this tower. So the bottom ones are usually more like people come into. Her private chamber's at the top. So that would be locked and closed. But this door is also... It's definitely closed.
Yeah.
You don't
There's
know
a
if
lot
it's
of
locked.
magical sex toys up there. We don't want people getting it, too.
So
Or dogs chewing on.
Do you want to try the door, Tessa?
No. I'm not trying the door.
Allie, would you like to try the door?
I vote for luring the dog out.
Yeah. How are you going to do that?
Bacon, probably?
Kiki will offer to use prestidigitation to make the smell of bacon waft like under the door. like amplify bacon.
Amplify bacon.
It So what you folks see is that a dimension door pops up and the puppy comes through it.
Oh my god, it can cast Dimension Door?
Allie, you're up.
I need you to catch this dog, please, because this one's a bit smarter. It's like big, fuck, and it starts to bolt.
Not that smart.
Dex check again.
Dex check, please.
23. You know how fast I can move.
No, I know, but this time it slips. He's so squishy and fluffy that he slips through your hands because he critically succeeded a wiggle check, and he starts taking off. Now you are faster than this dog.
I'm chasing the dog.
You were chasing the dog, so make me another Dex check, please.
20, non-natural.
Okay, this time he goes to dive for an area that you can't get into. And you just grab his back legs. He's like full extend. He's like, no! As you like pull him back towards you and Tessa.
So we have 3.
Mm-hmm.
2 more.
All right.
You have 3. 1 more because you have one with you.
Oh, right.
That you took to the shop.
Okay.
Time to start perception checking all the heck around.
Yep. So everyone
look
give
for
me a
clues,
perception
gang.
check.
37.
Okay.
Do I even bother rolling? Like,
You can see what you
21.
can get. 21.
17.
Those are normally good rolls. They're just skewed by Allie. So Allie, you kind of follow the trail because you're like you're looking around, but there's tiny mud prints that you lock onto, and you follow them. And they eventually trail off. Like they just stop suddenly, and you though can hear with your special ears small yips and then like a shh, 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 shh.
Where relative to me do I hear it from?
You follow the trail inside the keep proper.
Okay.
And you're just kind of like you hear that and you hear it kind of going up a floor, but you can hear it like by the steps.
Allie's going to... Damn it, I can't do that with thaumaturgy. Alright. Actually, no, here's what I'll do. Allie will call out to Tessa, hey, I think they might be out in the garden. And she's going to use thaumaturgy to make it sound like the door, like she's closed the door behind her. And then she's going to try and sneak up towards the stairs.
Stealth check, please.
24.
Okay, so at this point, what you see is like there's a couple of beats as you see Bendo is holding this filthy dog as she's sneaking down the stairs. The dog has absolutely conned her into helping it.
An inside job.
And then
Love.
she's like, oh, hey. And then she sort of like puts the puppy behind her back well after the fact.
You gonna let him stay that dirty?
He's so cute, though.
Yes, but imagine how much cuter he'll be when you get to play with him in a giant, big pool.
And her eyes light up, and if you could see the dog behind her back, she's just like, fuck. So she grabs the dog, and she's like, we're gonna get you clean. The dog's like, yay. Because she already has her. Like, Bendo has the puppy in her hands. And she just and you guys see Allie and Bendo just walking out very happily with this dog.
So we have all the dogs now?
We have all the dogs now.
All right, gang, listen up. I know you don't really like this, but if you get through this without a fuss, I'll give you all extra treats. Because bath is a good thing.
They all look incredibly suspicious of this.
I will even bring out the treats and show them that I mean business.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what I want you guys to do. We're going to go to the bathing pool, which I'm sure there is one, because there's a lot of dogs in this keep.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do one at a time. So I imagine there's like a little area in the garden.
Tessa, one of them sends you a message and just says, "We will take this devil's bargain."
I'll use bacon-scented soap.
Why would you waste bacon on soap?
Well, it's just the scent. It's not. Why am I talking to a dog?
It's talking to you.
All right.
Yep. You go. Roll for bath. Everyone that's trying to do this.
What do we roll?
Survival?
Whatever skill you think would be helpful for this.
Can I use persuasion?
Sure.
Yeah.
To see if you can convince the dogs this is
26.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll a survival check.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
22.
Kiki.
Kiki's gonna do just a dex. Non-natural 20.
Okay. So everyone basically takes a puppy because there are 5 of you, and Bosco is standing over there looking like, I'm not getting a bath, and he seems very happy about that. How to put this? So Kiki, like you wash the dog very efficiently, and there's sort of let's get you in and get you out as fast as possible, and it seems to appreciate that. Tessa, you managed to convince her that this is a good thing, and he sort of has a good time. Allie, you do okay, but like you're pretty wet from the dog trying to escape a few times. However, Thrax and Bendo are soaked, as they were not as careful with their dogs. And they are almost as, like, the dogs are clean, but they are almost as wet as the dogs are. I would like everyone to make a dex save, please.
Don't forget your +5.
Oh, nice.
35.
24.
12.
As the dogs get out, before you can towel them, they all simultaneously just start shaking, but everyone gets out of the way but Kiki in time. You're just blasted with lots of water and fur.
Kiki, in response, Kiki pulls out the air blast crystal and she casts the light cantrip on it and dries off herself, and then the puppy's like a giant hair dryer.
Oh my god, just poof.
To the poof.
They start just poofing
Just
up.
Kiki.
Yeah.
Kiki's like poof, like the cold. Yeah.
And, they have a bath. At this point, they're very pooped. It was a very long day of...
Oh, I give them their treats.
Yeah, they
for
get very dirty. You eat them. And at that point, they settle in for the next day or two as there's slightly more puppy shenanigans, but this time it's a little bit more cute as they've accepted your presence. And now kind of figure out that, like, all right, we can't really get anything over on Tessa. Although they do exploit Bendo a couple of times to get a second dinner. But eventually, Tessa, your aunt and uncle come back along with the larger dogs. Your aunt, everyone gives you big hugs. They give you lots of thanks. Uncle Belnar asks, how were they? Were they a lot of trouble?
I mean, they're puppies. They're going to be rambunctious. But some of those powers are a little concerning. So we are in the process of making them some, what I like to call them oh shit collars or harnesses that would prevent them from launching a high-level spell on accident.
So Brahman nods at that, and he looks to Allie and goes, she has the naming conventions of your father, I see. I don't know how that happened. Thank you. Yes, yeah, we'll look into that. And, when you have those, we're happy to pay you back. But thank you again very much for this lovely, I think, Wazari and Vilmari had a very good time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anytime, and you're always welcome to bring them up to the temple, too. I'm sure they'd like some fresh mountain air.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that soon.
There's a dog park.
Ooh. And they hear dog park, and they don't start, they start barking, like they want to go right now. He's like, no.
But that is Bosco's territory.
Yeah.
Imagine, like, Bosco, like, boofing like he's the general in charge of him.
But at that point, you folks head back to the peaks. Kiki's able to construct the machine for Allie. You're able to get the foundations of the harnesses done, and I will message you privately after the session about the gruff ball situation. Because that's for you to know. It's between you and this Dragonborn. But that'll do it for us tonight, folks. And from everyone here in Ryam, we thank you for joining us, and please stay safe, folks.